Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots. I'm here with a new pattern I've been asked for so much, and if you would like to make it with me, just boop, stick around. As always, please like this video so I know you're here. So I'm going to get right into this. This is a pattern. I'll put the link down below. You can hot glue this, you can sew this, and you can even change the look of both of those methods by doing a couple different things. So I've made 8 or 9 of these so far, and I'll be distributing them obviously between now and the end of the year for you. But it is so neat how many different looks I've been able to get with this single pattern. So we are going to put all of our right sides together for this. We are going to use fleece for this. So if you are a new crafter or new to making gnomes, you can absolutely do this. Go ahead and get fleece to start. It's the most forgiving fabric and it has great stretch. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the brim, then we move on to the hat. If you go slow on any part of your crafting, it's on this little U right here. That's it. There's no, big issue or anything. Just go slow on the U and you will be rewarded. It's definitely easy to um, do after you've done it a couple of times, but that's the only real tricky portion. So I will say if you're doing this, go ahead and put your entire arm on the table and just make sure you're grounded if you're doing the gluing. If you are doing the sewing, this is easy. It only takes me half the time to sew this particular pattern than it does to glue it. So if you're sewing, don't worry. I put in there you can use a 1/8 or a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I honestly recommend, so you get more of that big hook, to use a 1/8 on the hook. All right, so now that that's all put together, and next week, by the way, I'll share the sewn version of this so that you can see the 2 ways you can make it. I'm going to speed up this kind of stuff, which is just turning the brim right side out, and then be sure to like rub the seams between your fingers. That is going to be the best way. And you see how like I have a little like pokey part right there? We can stretch that out. That's the beauty of fleece, guys and gals. It's so cool. All right, so now we're going to turn the hooked hat right side out. Grab yourself a pencil or a pen and just push it out. Once you have it pushed out, if you are gluing, check all of your seams just to make sure nothing popped or anything. Then it's time to stuff it. You are going to overstuff the hook, and the reason is because we want it to be very pronounced, so you just shove a little polyfill. For this hat, you can absolutely attach it like a witch's hat where you pull out the cone portion and put it on top of the brim. However, I want to pull up the front of the hat. So in order to do that, I'm splitting the 2 layers of the hat. So I have triangles on the top and triangles here on the bottom. That is going to give me the ability to secure it here all the way around. I just like very low on the little triangles. We're gluing them down, never glue the top because we can cut that off and then hide this join. But if you want to do the spread out of the cone on the brim, you can absolutely do that too. It's not a big deal. All right, so I'm just going to cut all these off pretty low. See how low that is? That way we can cover it with ribbon or any kind of trim. So for the body, right sides together, glue or sew, leaving the top inch or so open. Now this is a really cute bump out body. I'm a fan of the not a straight cone style. When you get really small like this, we want to give it a little bit of visual interest. So you can use that bump out in the front or the back. So for this one, you're going to want to anchor that first piece, especially when you're hot gluing fleece. You want to make sure that front piece is dry. Then across from that one anchor piece, you're going to anchor another piece. Make sure that's dry. Then you're just going to split the difference. Now watch what I do with my fingers. See, this pattern absolutely works. I will tell you if it's not fitting for you, you're not pushing in the bottom. See how I'm doing that? Where I'm spreading out the top portion and then pushing in the bottom. For those of you who want to make your own patterns or anything like that, that is something that gives you a nice rounded bottom. So it's not just thunk and stops at a hard edge. Did you like my sound effects? Thunk. Sorry. If you're listening on headphones, I sincerely apologize that I did that twice. Okay, so again, we're going to turn this right side out. We are going to use our fingers and spread out that seam. Make sure you're pulling on it as well. We hot glued it, bang it on the table a couple times. There you go. See how it stands? That's what you want. Now we're going to fill it about a quarter of the way up. If you are using a really heavy decoration on the hat, you may want to go 1/3 of poly pellets or other weight, whatever you'd like to use. For stuffing, for this one, I'm using the cutoffs from the pattern because I can. And we're going to give it a really robust beard. If you're using cutoffs like this of fleece and other materials, just make sure you maybe want to put a little bit of polyfill along that outside line if you're working with the thinner fleece. This is the thicker fleece. I get all my fleece at Joann's or Michael's. It is not fancy. Although I did get camo fleece one time on Amazon. So if you want to make a hunter gnome, that's all there. So you can see I'm just rubbing it and kind of smoothing that out, rolling it in between my hands, moving it around. And basically, once you get to the top, remember how we left that portion open? You're just going to glue up this back piece, like right here and here. Just glue that together. It doesn't have to look pretty. Just don't glue yourself to it or burn yourself. Like I did a lot of glue burns like last weekend. So I know for a fact I'm going to have to take out some of this stuffing. And now that that glue is set on that seam, we can just glue it straight down. So I'm going to glue it straight down, adding a little glue inside as well and curving it down. So that right there, really great for a really heavy brim hat. So if you want to decorate, want to put a Christmas village on top of the brim, you can because we have all of that structure beneath us. I think I'm going to have to take out a little bit of this stuffing because I want to pull the hat down a little bit more. I did. All right. So when we're pulling down the hat, we're only pulling down the conical piece because that's how we're going to anchor this thing to it. We're going to cover up the ugly little triangles, so don't worry about that so much. We do need to pull down the cone. Once you have the cone down, you're going to glue it in the front and the back. Wait on the sides to see if you need any more stuffing in the hat or around like that top edge. I haven't needed it on a lot of them, but I just did either a winter or a snowman gnome, and I needed it. So just as a little hint, and then you go ahead and glue down the sides after you're happy. For the beard, you can do a teeny tiny beard, you can do a half wrap, or you can do a full wrap. All of it's going to be covered, so whatever makes your heart happy. I'm using a 2.5-inch drop. What is this? Mongolian? Yeah, white Mongolian. This is just cutting the back, and I have a 1-inch drop. You can cut a U, you can cut a V, but you don't really want to cut a square or a rectangle. They don't sit as well. They don't wrap around the little chunky body as well. I would recommend you turning down the top of the fur for this because we are lifting that brim. If you want, you can make a straight across brim, but I think it looks a lot better when the front is lifted and you can actually see the little face or the lack of face, maybe. Once we have that glued down, an obscene amount of hot glue, and then just literally slap it on there straight. And you want to hold that, for a couple seconds. You don't have to brush it out. I just happen to have it on my counter. And so you can see I'm now going to secure down the back. You can also secure down each of the individual bottom triangles. And if you're doing something really heavy on top, I would, but you don't have to. So here I'm just splitting the fur to its fabric backing in the center, adding some glue and pressing down. I think this is a 3/4 inch wood round. It doesn't have holes, but you can use those. The very back of the nose where the brim meets, I'm going to glue that down. For decorations, we do need to cover this some way. Now I have a whole bunch of ways that I'm going to be sharing. Some you will not expect. Thank you very much. But I'm just going to make sure I spread out any hot glue so my ribbons don't show those big bumps. And then I'm just going to crisscross some of these ribbons in the back. I think this is Dollar Tree ribbon. Y'all don't sleep on the Dollar Tree ribbon. Sometimes it's like really thin, but sometimes, oh, they have the cutest little patterns. I don't know what it is about this one. I just love it. Next or tomorrow, no. Next week, I'll be sharing the sewn version of this, and I love how he came out. I'm gonna show you the wavy hat. Oh, So much fun. You can do the wavy hat with glue or with sewing. So I just crisscrossed that in the back, and now I'm just going to pop on one of these. They're technically from the paper, like scrapbooking aisle, but they look really cute on gnomes. So it's a paper flower. I'm just going to stick it on here. Hiding my little wire in here. And you can add 3, 4, you can add some leaves, whatever makes your heart happy. But for me, I'm happy with this guy. I showed you. Oh, I just dented his little head. Um, Little easy hot glue assembly for this guy. I hope you liked it. I'll put the link for him down below. I would love to hear what you think of this pattern. As always, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I sincerely do. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe for more crafty fun.